Hi guys, I go by the name Ayibakuro. I'm a .NET developer, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to integrate Paystack payment processor with ASP.NET application. All right, so in this video, we'll be building a donation application where we can accept donations from people, from users, and once the donations has been made, we'll be able to display these payments. All right, so I'm using a test paystack, so therefore we can simulate payments, either success or decline with your bank odds or USSD. So payments are successful, and oh yes, here we are. We have this new payment that's been done. All right, so without further ado, let's dive in. I will be using the Visual Studio 2022 preview. 2022 preview. All right. First things first, we'll create a new project. Creating a new project using the MVC. Okay, there we go. Next, payment integration. Next. All right. We'll enable result runtime compilation so we could have access to the hot reload. Then go ahead and create. Okay. So so like I mentioned earlier, we are using Paystack. So before we proceed, let's install all the relevant Nugget packages. We'll be using Paystack .NET SDK. We'll be using Postgres for the database. We'll be an entity framework core. All right, so let's fire down and add Nugget packages for this application. So I won't be going into much details. I'll be building a simple and straightforward application without that will probably not be production safe. You get the drift. All right. First thing we'll be installing will be, of course, Stack.net. I'll be using that by ADBC Folusho. Yeah, I think that's the right. Accept. Up next will be adding the entity framework core. So let's put F core. Okay. Entity framework core. Accept this. Entity framework core tools, which would provide us with design and all the relevant extra dependencies that we'll need to run our application. Okay, then we'll be needing Postgres and the SQL, the Postgres extension for SP framework core. Great. All right, then let's update every pending updates. So we don't have. Okay, we're bumping up the ESP.NET runtime compilations. All right, that's done. Great. So, like I said, mentioned earlier, we're using Paystack. So, if you don't have a Paystack account, head over to paystack.com, get an account for yourself. You'll need API keys from your application from your account. So head over to paystack.com, then to the settings tab, and the API keys and webhooks. Then you can have access to your live secret key and your test secret key. So in this application, get your test secret key, and you'll be done. You'll be good. All right. So back to the code. We're done with this. Okay. Let's get coding. All right. So this video is basically for those who have a basic understanding of the ASP.NET MVC. So it's not a totally beginner video, and we're diving right in. First things first, since we were done installing the packages, let's go ahead and create our controllers and the views. So already existing is the home controller. This home controller will be going ahead with it as it is, just making some few changes to the view. All right, so we'll be clearing out what is already existing, and we'll be having two buttons here. That's going to display the one is donate button, while the other is make view donations, and we'll be using the Bootstrap classes for our styling. So, okay, I want this to be a flex. And we want center align items. Center. Then we want to give this a height of 80 VH. So this way allows our button to be in the middle of the center of the page. Right, so we have a div of class button group and dash group and a class 10 dash primary primary to be delete and I'll copy this is view donations. Okay. Right. Let's keep this as it is now and head over to our controllers to add a new controller for the individual views for donate and the view donations. Controller, Microsoft MSC controller, MSC controller. We'll name it donation. Donate. Add. Right. Great. So we'll be needing the constructor here. Then in another extra action. Make action results. Although action results donations. This will be returning a view, and this will be an HTTP. All right. Then we'll also need another controller. TP get So for verifying transactions, verify action results, verify. This particular action wouldn't be having a view, but nonetheless, I also have this here for a classic. Right, I will be redirecting with that controller and okay, that's now right. Okay, yes, we'll be needing a post HTTP. We'll be needing a post for the index. So this action is going to be handling from submission. Okay, index, and this will be expecting so the parameters for this write and build the model that will be this will be expecting. So let's go head over to our models and add a new class, and we'll call this the donate view model. All right. In this model, we'll be expecting string of we'll be expecting string of email and the amount and of amount. All right. That's for this model. Basically, these are the fields we'll be having on our form in the donate page. Right. So back to the controller. This okay, donate controller rather. All right. We'll be having the donate view model, expecting the donate view model from this controller. That's in donate. All right. Let's leave this at this and go dive into the codes. So let's extract a view for the index empty result view. Right, XSH Okay. Um. All right. So this view will be having a view data of so which is going to be it. Okay, that's right. Let's go to the home. Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. And oh yeah, in a form. This indicative regular wants our form to be in the center of the page. So flex specify content in the center. If you don't know how to specify as a backend developer, you don't know how to center a div in the page. Well, this is how you do it with Bootstrap. Align items center, and when this div needs to have a fixed height for this to work properly. Style of height. I'm using the video height to accommodate for the nav bar and ability provide. Okay, so that we now have the parent div and we can now have our card. Also for this to work, for it to be centralized centered in the middle, a fixed width for the parent for the child div. We want to give it a width of for our relative. Okay. All right, then the div as the add body. Body would have h3 plus add title center. Nice. Okay, then we'll be having a form. Let's hit and go ahead to create this form. That should be equals to form group label for to name name and have the name fields of type text text. That should be the form control that comes with Bootstrap. That this gives some styling and also validation, extra validation, simple validation from HTML from Bootstrap. All right, type of text. Okay, name, name, and ID is equals to passing in the required attribute. Okay, duplicate this, this, and another one. All right, so this will be email. That requires at least email, then basically an email and the amount to which you want to bill the customer. All right, C, and this will be amount in B, amount, type of number, amount, amount. Great, then we'll be needing a submit button of type submit, trigger the form actions. Submit as button class button from primary. Let's go btn dash block so it occupies full width of the parent element. Then we go donate. Right. Remember I said that we're using the donate view model to populate the form. Okay. So let's bring that in. View model donate. Okay. And we'll be using the okay. Let's start. Okay, sorry for the break. Needed to use the bathroom. Okay, so yes, before we that's donate dot let's be for minutes. But email to minutes. That's amount. Right. Then we'll throw it in the former handler, which should be method is equals to posts post PSP dash controller equal to its PSP equal to index. That's what we're expecting. That's bad boy. All right. We're not using this. All right. Okay. That is done for the index view. Let's go back to our donate controller. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is an error here. We need to rename this to a controller, donate controller. So and that it's treat it like a controller. Okay. So we are done with the view for the index with the form. We are done. Then let's dive into create the view to display all donations. Okay. Call this donations. Okay. Um, the same thing that applies to our donate page. We'll be having a view data. Basically, what this does of title it does is add the title of the page to our browser. So, donations of a page on the browser name for basically SEO conventions. Maybe in another video we'll talk about handling SEO, internet applications, internet MVC, or result pages. Okay, so needing a div, right? Basically, what this view will be displaying to us will be a table of all transactions from our database. Okay, so we need a view and we need a table. Of course, Bootstrap comes with this class of table that makes the table width of the of the view or of the page or the device. Okay, table will need a T head and table head will need a table row. Right, then individual th components itself. So we're having name. Okay, let's duplicate this name, email, and of course the amount of the donation that was made. All right, that's for table head. Go back to the T body. Table body will be needing. Okay, so we are going to be looping through that is coming in to this view. So let's leave this for now, right? And go back to some logic codes in our controller. All right. So just a quick rundown of what this each action is taking it will be doing. This index action is showing them the donate page. This will be handling the post action for the donate form, while these action the donation actions will be showing us the various donations that were made so far that are saved database, while the verify action will be verifying the transaction that okay after payment has been made, we're verifying that the transaction has actually was successful. So we don't have any dubious users trying to game the system. All right. See, okay. Now let's so like I said, I wouldn't be doing showing following some major conventions that you might be used to, like using class libraries and separation of concerns and keeping the controllers clean. But for demonstration purposes, I'll be writing most of the majority of the code in here. Okay. So let's dive in. Like I said, we're saving data to the database, right? So that way, when payments have been made, we save it to the database. And then when payment has been verified, we'll update the payments from the database with the updated payments. So I'll be having a new folder for repositories for yeah, basically our repository. Have a new folder three. Okay, yeah, this is this. Um, let's add our first things first. Our DB context. So we need a app DB context. Okay, DB context constructor. Right, and it's control ending DB context. Yes. Okay. Righty and right. Okay. So we create a model for our transaction. And then you close. Okay. Let's call it transaction model. The transaction model will be given a string of ID. Okay. ID which should be UID. That's with ID. Then of course we are having a name, right? Okay. We have an data of amounts, right? We have a string of transaction reference. Okay. String transaction reference. Okay, yeah, I'm missing one more thing. We have email. String email. And we'll have a date time of when transaction was made. Okay. Let's just create that to let's default right to date time. Right. That's for transaction model. So we need a DB set. Sets for it's in here. Okay. Creating models. Not strong. Why are you not having sense? Okay. So let's see transactions. Okay. All right. Okay. For the constructor, we'll be needing DB options. Let me verify this quickly. Sorry for that. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, DB context options. Options. Type context. Context. Oh man. Then that's right. All right now. Okay. All right now. Over to our style.cs so we can um, get our DB context injected into the services. All right. So that's be services dot add DB context. Add DB context. Add DB context. Trans IT and remember we have we are using so we have to use N E D SQL. Let's make some more point this. All right, and for the database connection string, getting that from configuration. Configuration taking payments and for that paystack. Maybe that name sounds okay. So let's quickly jump over to app settings or just to have our payments key added here. All right, so I already have it pre-written in the notepad somewhere. So yeah, let me just bring in the connection and the connection string and also the payment string. In database. Right. So this secret key should be coming from your paystack. So this is a test secret key as I'm comfortable sharing it with you guys. All right. Then okay, so, oh yeah, I made a mistake. It's also this is supposed to be conditional strings. Right. It's and default. Okay. So DB context brought in. Let's confirm that our DB context is wired properly and by adding the migration initial migration folks add issues. All right, great. Okay. One more thing, I need to create a database for the application. So jump over to PSQL shell and about to use username, password, then create database element. It's the team name provided to. Okay, great. It has been created. Now we can run update database. Okay, great. That's been done. Let's confirm that it actually did update. So connect to payments, right? And okay, let's define what it looks like. Oh yeah, so we have our transactions table, of course, and if we can go ahead and define the transactions. Yep. So the ID, name, amount, transaction reference, and email created that. Okay, so back to the code. Okay, all right. So I will be. Let's close the migration file. Close the app settings. Start up. Okay, likely we'll be coming back here to inject something. But for now, let's go back. We're done with you. So back to the controller. Great. So now this is where the magic happens. This is where all the magic will be happening. All right. So first things first, we need them to, in order to handle payment processing, right? Paystack comes with some default models. That's it's default data types that would be holding their data. So one of them is the transaction. Let me quickly verify that. Yeah, it's the transaction initialize response. So this is coming from paystack.net. Yes. That response will be equals to new plus response. No, this will be request, not response. It's request. Okay, and this bad boy will be taking some required fields from that paystack will be needing. First is first will be the most important of them all, amount in Kobo. So Paystack now receives pay wants you to pass in your payment your amount in Kobo. That's basically how they charge customers. So remember our donator already has donate dot amount, and we want to, since it's in Kobo, we want to multiply this by 100 to get the Kobo value of the amount. Okay, then email is needed, email. Transaction reference is needed. Okay, reference needed. So pre-wrote a method that would handle generating the transaction reference, unique transaction reference. I have that written here, and let's just bring that in. So what this guy does is generates a random number using certain what do they call it, circumstances. Oh, variables, right? So reference will be, bring in our generate guy. ID shouts. Okay, so this guy is bringing in a string. So it's extra details that might be needed. We have payment reference. We have amounts in Kobo. We have email. Okay, yeah, we need currency. It's not compulsory, but it defaults to NGN, to Nigerian Naira. Right. Plus a callback URL. Now, this callback URL is basically what the URL that they would redirect to after payment has been successful. So either it redirects, if it's not provided, it will redirect to your webhook that you provided in your Paystack dashboard. So we don't want that to go to the webhook. We want to be able to handle, capture the payment confirmation and verify the transaction. All right. So I'll be passing in these applications II Express URL. We can get that from properties and from lost not settings.json. So let's pass this in. And we want it to come to, of course, get to our verify action. So to go into slash donate slash verify. Now, Paystack could be passing in some properties like the reference for the transaction. So that way we can now verify the transaction when it comes back. Okay. So now we have a request. Now what do we do next? Okay, let's invoke the gods called Paystack. So we'll be needing a bringing in it's okay. Right, bringing in high configuration so we can handle get the our we can get our connection string. Configuration, configuration, let's Let's rename this guy. Okay. So we want to be able to get our what they call it our token. Okay. So it's read only string token. Okay. Yep. Also, let's go configuration. We're picking it from payments and is back. Okay. To initialize stack. This stack is equals to new I. All right, so we'll be using this space stack now to handle initialize transactions, verify transactions, moving forward. Interesting, yeah? Okay, so right now we have the request, payment request. Now, stack now gives us a transaction initialize response. Okay, response equal to that will be equal to paystack stack dot transactions dot initialize. Of course, here our request. Okay. So if We want to be able to verify that this transaction was successful. So if response status billion, status, let's go ahead and what we want to do, let's go ahead and save our transaction to database. Okay, that makes us to bring in guess who our DB context. Okay, we'll need to okay DB context has been injected into our services. So let's bring him here. Yeah. Okay. So application DB contexts, DB context, context, generate a field for you. We rename this. Mhm. Yep. Okay, so we'll be creating a new transaction model to save to database. So via transaction new transaction. Of course, you could use automapper, which is to map this, but that's a complex. So you have an amount field which will become, of course, amount. Amount. Have a field which will be called email. We have a transaction reference coming from first request reference email amount. Okay, of course, yeah. Name. It's on and we want to call save this to the database context of transactions. But wait for this bad boy. Created uses tax. Tax. Okay, now the transaction has been saved. We can go ahead and redirect the action. Now we're redirecting to a new. We want that. So we're redirecting to the payment request, the payment authorization URL that's provided by Paystack in our response. So we're directing to a URL of redirect action. Redirect. Okay. Directing to the response data as we will not have the authorization URL. So basically, Paystack gives you when you initialize a transaction or a payment, Paystack responds to the payment URL, which you will redirect your user to, so they can make payments in their secure in Paystack secured page. Paystack processes the payment and gives you a response. All right, so that's that for this view. Then okay, so if there's an error, let's return. Let's go back and return. Let's add the view data view data of error, so that way we can then display the error in our UI if there's an error. Okay, so let us be coming from response.message. Yes. Okay. Let's quickly take care of this error in our response. Let's add. Okay. Yep. Error equals to view data error error as. All right. So we'll be having this. Let's bring in leave of to be drop that. Yeah. That's danger. This has to be a conditional statement. So control X use if string dot all empty if not string dot null. That's in error. Sorry. So if an error occurs with the Paystack, we'll get the feedback and it will redirect back to our index view, showing us our errors. Okay, so back to the controller. So we are done with the payment initialization. Now let's go back over to payment verification. Okay, so payment verification is expecting string of reference. That's what Paystack will be appending to us in our in the response when payment has been confirmed or payment has been made. So we want to verify that this payment has was received. So of course, again, we have the transaction, um, transaction verify response. So verify passing our reference. It's intelligence from the Visual Studio 2022 is great and I love it. That's why I'm using it. Okay, so we have a response, and now this response comes with a response of state use, which is always going to be successful, right? But what we really need is the response that comes inside the data of the rest of the response body. But anyways, if you check out the Paystack documentation, you will get Paystack documentation. You will get all that you need with respect to. Let's see. Okay, it's in paystack.com and documentation. You will be able to understand, integrate this Paystack more extensively, and you will see the types of responses that we're expecting from each of the actions. But nonetheless, let's get back to okay, since we're here already, transactions and verify transaction. Okay, great. So like I was saying, this guy will always be true. It will always come back true. So you don't need this guy. You don't need this guy to verify that payment was successful. But rather, I want you to come back down into the data and ensure that status is equals to success. This is who you need because their response is they're always going to pass me a true response, true status. But you need this. This is who you need. Okay, back to the code. So if response data status equals to success. Success. This is where we will now update. Oh, okay. I didn't add um a status for the transaction model. Yep. Okay, let's do public boolean status. Right. So now this is where we'll now update the status after the payment has been confirmed. Okay. These are the stages equal success. All right. Now we want to first of all get transaction. Transaction from database. Transaction goes to for contexts, for transactions. Link X dot reference, transaction reference equals to reference as a default. And then this would be an async method. Right, so if null equal to null, of which six is coming up with a new synthetic sugar that would replace this need for this null check in our entities. All right, so if it equals to null, if not equals to null, then we want to update the transaction status. So let's say transaction status equals to then update that context dot transactions. It's then we await let's see what's in save. Okay. Okay, we didn't save this guy. Now, this is for when our transaction is successful. Okay. After all doing all this, we want to redirect to the donations where we can view all donations action. Okay. So we'll be return direct to action. Not only the action, we're going to the donations. Actions. So okay, then for this guy, we'll basically be adding view data and data of error, of course, response.message error, right? Then we'll be returning a view. Let's redirect action back to the index action. So that way that our alerts can receive the response coming from that the transaction was not verified or something. Or better still, let's use not use message, but let's use DSP response. DSP response. That's more. Better. Okay, we're done with the the verify action. So over to the donations. So donations is basically going to be going to database, getting all transactions that have been successful and displaying it. Right? Okay, let's jump in. Okay, so this guy's supposed to be in a sync. Hopefully, guess so. Nonetheless, so transactions equals to let's go x dot transactions. Okay, yeah, let's choose. Okay, so yeah, it's not. But no, it's not. See, not. Okay. Oh yeah, it should be asynchronous. Okay, that's okay. Let's just change it to list instead. I so that. Alrighty. So yeah, we're having a list of transactions. Hopefully, yes, we do have a list of transactions, and we want to return these guys as we did that. Uh, transactions is equal to transactions. Okay, now let's go over to our donations view and populate it with data coming in from this guy. So, of transactions equals to data transactions list of transaction model. Because there are other ways to pass in the transactions. You can pass it through directly to the view and access it as a model. No, kind of like this way. This allows for multiple data to be passed through to the view, just in case you've been battling with that. Okay, so now we can now comfortably do our looping, right? So we can now do the for each okay var item and transaction in transactions. Let's verify this guy. Yep, the list of transactions we want to display a table row, table row first, then td tables a cell of that transaction. Let's repeat this. Now we need to add one more guy here. It's gonna be the transaction reference. Sure. So this guy is gonna be dot email. So probably that's amount and you. That's reference. All right, so we're writing without confirming that everything things are working. All right, so let's just hope that there are no issues. Let's run through this. Okay, right. The fingers crossed. Let's test this. Run the application. Oh, okay. So far, so good. No errors. All right. Okay. So we haven't initialized added the links to this our index. Let's quickly add that. Okay. So ASP dash controller will be equal to unit controller and ASP dash actual will be equal to index for you. Same repeats for the different actions. But that now it will be donations. Action. Save now and the beauty of hot reload and refresh data will be updated. Is this taking too long? Okay, yeah. So as you can see, um, these bad boys are working now. Let's visit our donate page. Okay, we have an extra guy here. All right, so donate index to CS HTML. Who's the extra guy? Got you. Save, fresh. Oh yeah, let me quickly add something. Okay, yeah, done that already. Okay, so let's test it out. Macro. If we send, let's test the to verify that Paystack our error handler is working. Basically our error message will be displayed. So I'm sending in an empty no amount, and Paystack needs a minimum of 100 Nigerian naira to process payment. Okay, any breakage? None. Oh yeah, because here is the amount sent. So that works. Now let's go ahead and create something with the right thing. Okay, it's if all works, this should redirect us to the Paystack. It's awfully slow. So this is awfully slow. I would like to restart this to ensure that. Let's stop this. Let's copy. Let's copy issue the speed of Okay, great. Now let's test it out. I think now it's gonna be faster than maybe it was just it should work obviously now. All right, so we have an error. Okay, so column of status of relation transactions. Okay, yeah, we didn't add any migration for the changes we made to the transaction model. Okay, so let's go to Power Control and add transaction. Okay, transaction. Okay, and that's been done. Let's update our database. Okay, great. Let's ensure that database boy is acting well. And let's read run this, and yep, we have the status attached now. So back to okay. Let's test it once more again. All right, name amounts donate. What now? Authorizer URL created. Okay, but it did not redirect us to the view. Okay, migration. Donate controller. Okay, why aren't you redirecting? You expect URL of string. Uh, which one URL? Let's put it over here. Just the long process. Okay, let's try this once more again to see. Program, let's see. Response. Let's use the data authorization URL. Everything works. Yeah. Oh, okay, great. Well, return correct. Okay, I'll restart that. My bad. Stop. Okay, let's go and hit donate. All right, so be a smooth sale. This is awfully slow. I haven't seemed to wrap my hands around reason why. Why this is so slow. Okay. All right. So great. So test success, pay, and now this will redirect us back to the view responsible for verify, which will run the verify action on Paystack and redirect us to the donations view. Something is wrong somewhere. Application is awfully slow. Okay. So the party did not properly respond after a time period of established connection. Okay. Why? Start. Let's verify guy. The breakpoint here. Why are you not hitting it? Right. Okay. So the application works, but it's awfully slow. It's awfully slow. View donations work. I think I would have to figure that out later. But here you go. We've successfully been able to integrate Paystack. Wow. Okay, just as for a run through, what we did, we first of all we brought in we brought in the Paystack, right? Initialize Paystack, passed in the token. So this token now has to be your secret key. And so passing the token, initialize Paystack, the Paystack API, then we call the Paystack transaction initialize endpoint to initialize transaction. From the when the response is successful, we save transaction to database. Then when payment is done, we verify transaction, right? By calling the Paystack transaction verify method. Then we'll update database with that transaction status. Then we show the view for donations. We direct to action donations. And here we go. I hope you did enjoy this. Okay, I think the issue might be coming from Paystack. Yeah, coming from Paystack because they are not responding fast. Paystack. All right, so if you did enjoy the video, kindly subscribe to the channel, and let's look forward to new interesting content. Ciao. Have a blessed day. Okay.